You beautiful globlets of humanity, and welcome to This Much Is True with myself, Mark Manning. Who else would I be with? Did you ever hear DJ saying that? With myself. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Means nothing, does it? Here I am with myself. Well, who else would you be with? Anyway, I've already made a video today, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So we are a month since Christmas. It's the 25th. So this is a month from Christmas, and what have you done? Have your New Year's resolutions already tumbled into the bin? I don't know. But here I am, 24 days on, with the exception of 3 days. What's that? 21 days in of doing these videos, essentially to myself. Because nobody will contact me here on This Much Is True at protonmail.com. Oh, you would make my day so much. What am I going to do next, two people that have been watching? That's right. Anybody who contacts me will get a belt of the dingaling. Of my dingaling, you know. So, yeah. Today I want to talk to you about how fragile relationships can be and how you can goof one up if you're not careful. So it's a short and sweet cautionary tale, but I have to say to you, the end result is I don't really care, right? So I'd start out by saying I'm sure you don't either. It's never my intention to hurt anybody. Ever. It's just not in my nature. I like to be happy. Although as I get older, you get this thing about when you get older, you start not suffering fools gladly. You know, it's that kind of thing where you realize there's less ahead of you than there is behind you. And really, you know, life is short. Sorry, I'm looking at my iWatch. Is that what it's called? Or Apple Watch? Because it's buzzing. I was wondering what the buzzing was about. You know, Mabel? I have no idea. So, sometimes I always got on so well with my customers, they often became friends. And this guy and I were acquaintances. And we would have a cup of tea together, a cup of coffee together. And I always got on well with him. And then he started to enter the territory of a pet hate of mine. And I'll explain what it is shortly. But, yeah, so I got on well. We had technology in common. We're roughly the same age. We're up against the same kind of challenges in life. But after I left a certain job that I was with, he started appearing. Let's use the expression, he knew where I lived, right? So he'd start appearing unannounced. Now that's my pet hate. Look, we all have an auntie or uncle or a friend who arrives out of the blue, and in that Irish tradition, of course, there'll be 100,000 welcomes, generally. Doesn't help that you're on the toilet, or you're in the shower, or you're madly depressed, or you're having a row with your spouse. You know, you're allowed one or two of these little guest star appearances. But what was happening was, I had my own, as I was saying, challenges at the time. I was trying to work out my life. And this guy, you know, next minute he'd be at the door. Fine, put kettle on. We talk about stuff. Another week would go by. The next minute, you know, you're about to go out for a walk or something. The car's outside the front. And this went on for a long time. And I wasn't up to it at the time. I had enough to be doing. I was trying to look after 2 small kids while my wife was doing the out in the corporate world, and I was literally in retreat from the world because I had this very corporate existence before that, and I was trying to find my way after it. And I was faltering along the way, and I had stuff going on in my head. And by the way, if you ever are in that position, do you not let that bother you whatsoever. You are not your job. People identify as things. I'm a soldier, I'm a DJ, I'm a fucking salesperson, whatever. You're not your job. You shouldn't look at it that way. You're a person with fundamental needs, and you are not your job. Because, slight segue, but only a slight one. I remember years ago going to, you know, when you get this, especially someone my size that goes to a gym, you get this fit of I better do something. And I was working under serious pressure at that time. But you do the thing that you did in your 30s or your early 40s. You go to the gym. And I met this Eastern European gym bunny. Now, she was a member of staff. There was nothing, I wasn't, there was nothing illicit going on. She was assessing me. And she said to me, what do you do? I said, I'm in sales. And she says, why are you here? I said, I'm here to lose weight. I'm under a lot of pressure and stuff. And she said to me words that I should have really lived by and paid the price for afterwards. She said to me, you corporate, forget about. You are just a number to them. You're a number. You are a number to them. You drop dead in the morning. They don't care. And they were very true words. Why did I go there, folks? Just bear with. Why did I go there? Yeah, I'm just setting the scene that if you are at home and you've been conditioned into a certain way of life professionally, please don't identify yourself. You're a lot better than that. If you want to just sit on a deck chair all day and pass your days looking at a beach, there's no harm in it. It's perfectly human. In fact, I think if the sun were at the right height and the temperature just perfect, it might be not a bad way to spend your days. I'd get fed up with it, to be honest. Anyway, this bloke used to drop around. There were not even endless cups of tea. There was vats of tea and coffee and small talk. And really, you know, it came to the point that, please announce your arrival if you're going to come. Stop these fucking impromptu visits. Never said it to him like that. And I don't know how, but I maybe he was outside one day and I pretended I was elsewhere. I can't remember how, but it was revealed to him that he was unwanted. And he wasn't unwanted. He was unwanted when these bloody, you know, parachuting into me visits. I was still happy to have his companionship and his friendship and to, you know, two guys, same age together, lots in common. I enjoyed all that. But what I hated was these fucking action man visits, you know, assaults on me when I was least expecting it or least in the mood. But anyway, I knew I tripped myself up one day. I can't remember what it was like, but I knew that he kind of got the message. And I never heard sight or sound of him since. Now, I think back then I did kind of try to make contact. I wasn't going to come out and say exactly what the issue was, but I wanted to kind of explain because I think there was leverage. There was room to maneuver why he might have thought. But anyway, it was a white lie. And I don't think he was buying it. And I never saw him again. Now, do I spend a lot of time regretting it? Not really. But the human in me doesn't like to hurt another human. And hurt him, I think I did. But it was unintentional. But, you know, hey, I don't know about you. I would drop in on someone occasionally. I rarely, if ever, drop in on anybody without texting first of all, in the area, phone call, are you available today? No problem if you're not. That's what I just consider. I wouldn't say some people just aren't like that, but I think that's mannerly. It gives someone an opportunity to zhoosh themselves up or to put the kettle on, not answering you in a depressed mood, probably hungover in their underpants. But I do regret that. Of course, I regret losing any friendship. But that said, I'm not in a freaking hurry to rekindle it, especially under those circumstances. I'm being bold and stupid. But I don't know, maybe you've had that experience, you know, the people that, sure expected you to be in, how's it going? Yeah. So I don't know. Please, make contact here. If there's anything on your mind, look at some of the previous episodes. Shite and all as they are. Have a look. Is there anything there that resonates you want to talk about? Introduce yourself. You get a belt to the ding-a-ling. This much is true at protonmail.com. Okay, if you're too lazy to do that, do the comments below. I need some freaking feedback. But I am going to these 90 days or whatever it is I set myself out. And I don't care if it's just talking to myself with the tumbleweed blowing in the background, musky.